I'm Annie, and I'm a holographic historian in this museum. I'm here to talk you through how Macrophilia came up with their human and animal body-oriented entertainment. In 2021, in response to the devastated population, after thousands of people and native animals were killed in the bushfires, Macrophilia designed synthesoids to aid in people's loneliness and grief. First, they went on field trips to Crown City and LA in 2019 and 2049. They discovered how the replicants used for labor in LA was made of real flesh genetically engineered for their role. They were also superior in strength and intelligence compared to humans. They took this idea and thought, what if people could transfer their consciousness into these synthesoids and become someone else? This would make socializing much more convenient because they could just lie down, sink into their optical hologram, and be anywhere they wanted to. Although this was an exciting idea, it would detach people from real human touch and did not solve the problem of the grieving population of Glebe. So they went back to their studies and looked at Crown City and LA. They had collective entertainment like animal markets, bars, and gladiator fights. And they also had private entertainment which helped to ease people out of loneliness, mainly through sex and human touch. In both cases, holograms were heavily used. Both cities had monumental human holograms that were highly sexual in LA. Taking these ideas, they thought, how can they foster that human connection and human-to-animal relationship to aid in mental health, and what entertainment can be enjoyed as a collective and as a personal experience? Their idea was that it can revolve around the human and animal body at varying scales. They began cataloguing the entertainment types. They went through a process of research about the human and animal body, childhood experiences to give the comfort of being a child again, and integrated them into the catalogue. They visited Rogue City and saw Macrophilia in the built form and in the realm of the real flesh. Their second idea was very similar to LA, using synthesoids to give the people of Glebe the human touch through erotica. But this was not appropriate for everyone, and people wanted more than just giant holograms and prostitutes. They looked back at childhood stories to give that comfort of being a child again. They wanted to integrate that sense of curiosity through crawling into a rabbit hole, and they looked at how it might feel to be extremely small or extremely large, or how it might feel to climb Rapunzel's hair or be tied up by little men. At first, they built an exterior, where flesh would grow out of the walls and create its own genetically engineered ecosystem. But this was later changed to focus on the interior, because a lot of these spaces would be hidden because it is illicit. They looked at the connection between the fleshy spaces and the human. Then they looked at the movement systems in the body, and also case studies on how this might feel and ideas of the mechanics that would be needed in such a space. They began cataloguing all the types of body-oriented entertainment, and then they looked at entryways for these hidden spaces and how it can happen everywhere in hidden areas. And then they looked at where they could source their materials, from Hue Machine for the mechanics and the garden for the genetically engineered flesh. And then the maintenance. The maintenance of these spaces would happen in the day, and then at night it would open up. They built the catalogue from their list of categories, and then they began building their entertainment activities. Now if you open up your optical hologram, you can adjust by scale and pick something where you become really large or really small. Or you might be having a bad day and want to be in the embryo of your mother. Or you might want to practice your kissing skills. Or get your own customized animal. Or human hybrid. They made it possible to get a second-hand synthesoid and customize it to your own liking. They can become your pet, friend, or partner. Something was still missing though, and it was how it was going to all work. So they did further research on the mechanics of organs. Most of the movement would be mechanized, with the flesh being completely real and genetically engineered. The blood would be pumped through the flesh and enter diffusion tubes that would slowly release the fluid into the flesh, just like a capillary does. Bodily fluids like saliva would be released through tiny pores in the flesh, and amniotic fluid would be pumped into the womb through a tubing. Most flesh installations would move by ball and socket joints. This is a front view of that same section. On the bottom right, the belly would be pumped like a balloon. So if you fell from the rhino wall, a soft belly would catch you. The flesh has integrated sensors that are connected to a main control panel. So I'm about to show you a video of the Sweat Club, aka Skin Club. Hi everyone, welcome to the Skin Club. So I'm a DJ from the Skin Club and I'm here to show you how the Skin Club works. So this is a sample of a skin taken from the Skin Club, and what it does is it sweats and it also wobbles to the music as it goes on. So this is connected to a steam fan which blasts steam right behind it, causing it to sweat. And the steam fan is connected to a main control panel, and this control panel is in charge of all the autonomous responses, so that if you touch the skin, it flinches. So here I'm going to show you how it works at night. So you can put the steam fan behind the skin and you can turn it on. And then when the music comes on, the skin wobbles along with the music. So this is a sample of a small intestine. At Macrophilia, it's in a much larger scale and is used for peristalsis, which is for people to move through the building, going up or down. So essentially you have the blood supply, which is connected to a tube, and that keeps the intestine alive. And then you also have these wirings that connect to the main control panel here. And the wiring is responsible for connecting the sensors to the control panel so that the intestine moves. So essentially how the movement works, in this case we just have the two sides with the movement arms, but in the actual building the arms are all the way around the whole circumference of the intestine. And how it works is you have these little joints and they push against the intestine so that they can push people up or down the building. Just a disclaimer that although the flesh is completely real, Macrophilia responsibly sources their material and does not harm any animals or people in the making of these, as it is all genetically engineered and is not sentient. It is also highly sustainable as the flesh can be retrofitted on an existing wall. The difficult and dangerous work is offset to the synthesoids rather than sacrificing our wildlife and people. Thanks for listening into this hologram. Hope this clarifies how Macrophilia came to life.